to Dr. PITSO's book launch, and now I'm with Dr. PITSO himself. So can you please thoroughly introduce yourself?
Well, umthimkhulu lo bunganukeleke kusho wathi I'm actually the PITSO. I'm in the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. I've been at VT for 21 years, nicely hidden to do my job. So very few people would know about me, but I've been here for a while.
So you have written a dozen of books already. What makes this one special?
I think one of the things that happened is I took the 2015 student protest very seriously. One of the demands was decolonization of the curriculum. So I realized that there are no books to help students with this project. So I decided I needed to write a book, but a book about African spirituality and philosophy. But I wanted to make it as scientific as possible. So it went through all the processes of science. So see, there were Professor Lumumba, Ulfon, and so on. So I wanted it to be a scientific book so that it can be prescribed if necessary. But it is about restoring our dignity, restoring our identity as Africans, and also telling the world who we are and owning our own narrative.
And why the title, The Forgotten?
It is because there was this more than 400 years of deliberate marginalization of African knowledge, African understanding, African culture, African traditions. And central to that was the colonization project. And so what we needed to do was to retrieve that which has been forgotten, so that our own children, grandchildren, and future generations would be able to be proud of their own identity, their own culture, and their own traditions.
So, what can you say to someone who is still out there and seeking African spirituality?
My project is large, and that is why I'm also moving all over the world. Like this, I'll probably be in Germany, in Spain, in London. One of the things that I'm doing is to begin to make the world aware about our African spirituality and its depth and its importance. But more importantly, we need to deal with those Africans that I call adult self, those who define themselves in terms of others' ideas rather than African ideas. These are the people we need to help to restore them back to their dignity, to their identity. So to them, I say to them, let's start a journey. You realize when I ended, I said, let's keep working. But we need to work towards African virtue and African content, and own our story. So we are inviting them to this conversation. We're not going to persuade them, we're inviting them to the conversation. Let them be exposed to this conversation so that we can move forward as proud Africans. Yes.
Usually, us as Africans, we usually have debates about Christianity and spirituality. What can you conclude on to people who are debating on that?
Okay. The first thing is there is no debate at all. Christianity was created by us.
Yes.
We created Christianity. The only problem that happened is when they went to the West, when the white men discovered Christianity, then they started giving it various permutations, its various variations. It went to England, they called it Church of England. It went to France, it was Presbyterian. It went to Rome, it was not Roman Catholic Church. They were starting to give it its own version, but they also implanted white supremacy in it. We need to remove white supremacy and realize that this is actually our idea.
Inside there you mentioned the African Agenda 2063. What is it?
African Agenda 2063 is about reclaiming our political, economic, social, cultural space. And these people, because we are generous, we have Ubuntu, these European people, these Western people must realize that we don't have a problem sharing with them. There's enough for all of us. What we have a problem is bringing systems that deny others the right to have these resources and have an enjoyable life right here on earth. The stream of heaven is absolute rubbish. We need to all have fun here. We need to have the best lives here. And there is enough resources for that. So why are we battling and even fighting over it? So let them stop abusing our kindness. Let them understand our philosophy as Africans. the philosophy of Ubuntu, that we'll share with them, we'll struggle with them, we'll enjoy with them. We're not fighting, we're not putting them aside. Because in any case, they are our siblings. This is the cradle of mankind. We started here. So we won't put them aside. We want them to be part of us. But we want them to remove this 900 years of dark ages, the savages that developed in there, to come back and become human.
Can you, we have a short time, so can you please tell them where can they find the books?
The book is available. There are certain limited copies that are available within Balance, Damin. There will be some copies there. But a bulk of these books are available at Amazon. Take a lot. I think you can order them online either as hard copy or as e-book. But again, what you could also do is, I think in the next few weeks it will be available at exclusive books. It will be bought everywhere. We'll try to make sure that it's as accessible as possible. But for now, take a look, take a lot, Amazon and Media.
Thank you so much. That is Dr. PITSO on campus. Simon, and welcome to the Dr. PITSO's book launch. And today I meet the Bonani family, Simon. Can you please shortly introduce yourself and tell us about your relationship with Dr. PITSO?
Okay, introduce myself. My name is Muzuyonkosi Kunene. I'm with my family here. Mrs. Kunene and my younger daughter, Nomtrebo, and the elder daughter, Tandeka. Yes, with Mr. PITSO, we are privileged to meet Mr. PITSO to help us to discover ourselves as Africans, and also discover ourselves with our gift as spirit mediums. So Mr. PITSO, I could say he did a good job with the family, and then we are now spirit mediums, graduated spirit mediums. We can assist people in their spirituality and their gifts and their challenges and problems in their life.
Thank you so much, sir. So, to the two ladies in the house, can you guys tell us how was the journey of you guys finding spirituality and identity?
Okay, so I was actually from the family, the first one to start my spiritual journey. I went to the PITSO reading assistance, things like finding peace and grounding in my life. As an artist, we found it to be very, like a good challenge also for himself, and as a person who's scared, who has the capability to do more than what I thought I could do at the time. And so as I spent my time, the period that I did at his house with his family, learning about our spiritual beings as Africans, I connected a lot to myself, and I was able to connect with my family and our roots as one. So the journey has been an endless learning, a learning experience of growth and of also self-identification. So it's been really empowering, most of all that using out. As much as we're all equals, I think to be able to identify yourself and others, and also feel like you're worth being part of. So it's been a great experience. Continuously is still a great experience, and that's my side.
Well, she pretty much said it all, but from a personal point, I would say
You need something.
I must say that he really is beyond a mentor. If I were to name him a mentor, I would be really fantastic, because he took our family in as his own family and helped us restore, and he rediscovered ourselves within that space. And I think that's one thing we can attest to when it comes to speaking to ourselves. can confidently say that it impacts us individually in very different ways. Mine as a growing teenager, as a youth, okay, I wouldn't say teenager anymore, but a growing person, a youth, and someone who's trying to be a better person and trying to find themselves in the midst of mental health, in the midst of all these ideologies that we have in our modern world, and truly just honing in on who I am, where I come from, helps me root myself and become a more, what can I say, stagnant.
Good. It's quite a change. But Kunen, what can you say about generation? Yeah, Tala, the modern generation. How's the shift in spirituality and traditional arts?
It is challenging, whereby we are actually as this current generation we are stick to we are actually somehow confused about our originality in terms of Christianity, religions and churches and so on. Yeah, we somehow lost who we are and then where we are going, and then we forget actually our roots. I mean, we as people like to go easier way and take shortcuts and so on. And then yes, with the mentality, if I may move on with our mentality, we are somehow westernized more than Africanized. So yeah, we are struggling to move to our right direction because we are a few in many with this gift and then with this knowledge.
To a family out there that's still trying to find their belonging in spirituality, what can you say to them?
Okay. I can say if they hear about the African way for the first time, it will be confusing, of course, because of the long time that we've been taught from all generations, from colonization, when we started and all that is all that we're talking about. Most of our generations from the elders, others also taught people about church. Now people get confused when you tell them that now you have to know yourself. That way it's not confusing. Then the person will tell you that my uncle was now, or my parents were now born again. They were not doing rituals anymore. They were not saying Mr. Gazelle anymore. So that's where you find the most challenge, because that's where all the confusion and the misleading of most people starts with, and that causes spiritual disease actually processing. Because you are born from a certain family, and you have to know yourself that surname that you carry, is it in which bloodline? Are they the royal bloodline? And that can affect a person because they don't understand themselves. Whereas in the church, they don't teach about them. So when you start telling the person that the person now asks themselves, what are you talking about? Whereas the church is saying angels. Meantime, angels are actually your ancestors, your DNA. So that's why you find most challenges for people to understand that it's not that demon or whatever. Your ancestors are your guardians, your angels, because they are on your DNA. So when people understand that, that's when we discover that that's where the power is. Because you connect more with whom you know, your grandfather, your aunt or your uncle, more than an angel that you don't know the name of, So it connects you easier to your spiritual being when you know yourself. So that's the challenge that we get from people that they don't understand. It doesn't mean Africanism is not spirituality. It is both the bigger of the combination, and it helps a lot to know yourself.
Do you guys believe that there should be distinction or comparison between spirituality and Christianity?
I think it's a good place to start. Because that is where you will find the distinguishing factor, like we say, that Christianity is religion, and spirituality stands on its own. It can stand on its own without religion, but religion sometimes takes to spiritual practices. So starting to compare the two is a good way to start building your understanding of where to go and your individuality within spirit and within religion.
Yeah, no, I agree definitely because we tend to mix things up a lot between faith and belief, culture, tradition, religion, you know. That mix up tends to become a source where people will rather focus on will rather debate about what I believe instead of actually go back to what's the fact, you know. But you don't even remember where you got that fact from. You could have gotten that fact from what someone else told you. But by starting by understanding ourselves and learning the differences between these different concepts, then you can start actually speaking in confidence, knowing that what you are saying that you're doing is actually what you are doing, and not what you are assuming that you're doing. So it is important to compare. In all tradition, you wouldn't want to question things because then you get your butt smacked, if I can say that. But now, if you don't question, you're lost, you know. You need to question, you need to compare, so that you can come out with conclusions that are fact-based, you know, and have a way to move forward that actually has basis, you know, that you get like results from. You know what I mean? Instead of going back and forth between, okay, we had a conclusion, but it's falling apart. Why? Because we did not have a proper context for, because we never actually compared the facts and the falses of the two different, you know, concepts. So it is important to compare. It doesn't mean to compare you are discriminating or judging. It's just based on facts. If this is a phone, this is a table. What makes it a table? What makes it a phone? Doesn't mean one is more important than the other. So it is important for us to be a bit, what do you call the word? To be discerning. Yeah, to be discerning. It's crucial, you know. So there's nothing wrong with it. Otherwise, we are just oblivious and we're just using it the wind. And that doesn't mean that the wind is going to get you to the right place.
Thank you so much. We are still at Dr. PITSO's book launch, and now I have the Molapo family. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Khetisa Masilo Natani Molapo.
Yes.
And this is Tibang Liseli Molapo. This is my daughter. And we are here for that.
What is your relationship with Dr. PITSO?
Dr. PITSO is a family friend, and is also a guide, a mentor of us in terms of African spirituality. And yeah, that's pretty much our relationship.
The gist of it, yeah.
Lady, what can you say about the importance of spirituality or African spirituality?
Well, I mean, the importance of African spirituality, when I think about it, is that it just kind of takes you back. Sometimes you get stuck in this world, you're just like, you don't know who you are, you know. And it's very important, I feel it's important to know who you are, where you come from, in order to be able to like move forward. Like, my future, this is how I'm planning out. So when somebody comes to me and says like, okay, hi, introduce, like, this is who I am, I find it very important to be able to relay who I am authentically. You know what I'm saying? To be like, this is me unapologetically also. Yes. Can only know that if I know where I come from.
Because we saw how your father knows himself.
Yes.
Would you say you know yourself and you expect your children and your children after them to know themselves like that?
Definitely.
And how are you willing to do that?
Definitely. I mean, I started this spiritual journey, I think, it's been more than a year now, you know, and it's been mostly just learning about myself, first and foremost, and then just learning about culture and how our people did things, you know, so that we can do things the right way. So what I'm doing now is that I'm gaining knowledge.
Yes.
I'm gaining knowledge so that
when I do eventually, let's say, get married, have kids, I know, I have information that is actually correct to be like, look, this is how our people did it. This is how it should be done. Did I answer your question?
No, very quite well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That we usually, as kids or as youth, we usually have debates about spirituality, Christianity, and religion. How would you put it in one thing that you stop doing that? Here's what you need to know.
I think the main thing is just to clarify that. First thing, the kids must know that they are Africans, number one, before they even go anywhere. If you understand that you're an African, and then you have to know who you are, know your roots, know where your father comes from, where the beginning, like the way I articulated earlier, get everybody, the children, to know exactly who they are. Those are the pillars, the fundamental pillars of African spirituality, knowing yourself, your identity, so that when you come across other teachings of Christianity, Muslim, any other teaching that comes, if it finds you in a space where you actually know yourself and have a clear identity of who you are and how you relate to your superpower and your ancestral heritage and all that, it becomes easier to understand and see where there are flaws of any other teachings that come into there. But nothing can beat yourself. I mean, you as a unit being born, you're born with the gift of yourself. Now, if you understand that, and then it's easier to understand even your life purpose. And then all other teachings that you're going to meet as an individual at school or everywhere else, it's going to be easier for you to comprehend them and be able to deal with all other teachings that you got.
Thank you so much. And that was it from the Mulapo family. And I am Kantam Kosi. Thank you.